The more I read, the more research I read, and the more I try not to, but you cannot get sucked into the social media wheel of just absolute nonsense with no one actually knowing what they're talking about. You know, these lies about cholesterol, seed oils, not that, oh, I think I'm eating healthy, but you're actually ingesting daily seed oils. The bigger this flame is just growing within me. It actually makes me feel a bit overwhelmed. I end up going through these loops of like, are you good enough? Should you be sharing this? Like, who are you to share this? You know, almost this feeling of imposter. And then I think to myself, Nika, when you're 90 years old and you're reflecting back on your life, do you think that person of 90 would go, what are you doing? Take action. And I know from the genuine bottom of my heart that every female, every person should know about this, should know about the truth when it comes to the healthy foods we think we're eating, the truth behind these myths about cholesterol. I'm also then reminded of, okay, not only have I transformed my life, not only have I pretty much removed my symptoms of PCOS, I had 3 of the 4 types, but I've also got my client results. I've got my clients saying to me, Nika, you are 100% speaking your truth. The results are breathtaking. Not only is there natural fat loss, no dieting, I'm known as the anti-diet coach, not only has their energy improved, they're sleeping better, but they're actually feeling like they're waking up every day and thriving. It's also very personal to me. My mum was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, and she goes every 6 weeks for this very strong injection where she had to sit on a drip and this gets pumped around her body. And I remember when she was diagnosed with it, I was thinking, how? Like, how is this possible? Because when you read into what rheumatoid arthritis is and the body is basically attacking itself, I just sit back and I think, but that makes absolutely no sense, because coming from being a chiropractor myself, thinking holistically, you know, that the body is always working with you. Our body, and the same with animals, has this innate intelligence to self-heal. So why on earth would it start to attack itself? And then your brain, my mind, starts to question and think, well, is there a confusion? Why would the body get confused? The body has, you know, not really changed in terms of the brain function being the survival mode for years. So what has changed? Why is the body attacking itself? And then I remember sat down and thinking, well, what if the body's just talking? But by now the body's screaming because of the many times it was speaking so quietly and telling you to listen, asking you to not do that, or asking you to recognize that that's not making you feel good, but you ignored it. And then I think back and I'm like, that to me makes more sense. The body is working with us. Our bodily systems are there to help us survive, not to slowly weaken us. And when you start looking more into the research about even why and how the body stores fat, it's so clever. It's genuinely doing that to protect you. And where it stores fats is often places when we look in the mirror in the superficial aspect and we think, oh, I hate my thighs, I hate my belly, I hate my arms, I hate my back. But actually, what if, and this is also what the research shows, your body is storing fat in those places because it is avoiding the storage around your organs. And what do you need to function? Your organs, your heart, your lungs. Now, isn't that just that slight change in perspective? You think to yourself, my body's actually doing me a favor by storing this fat in these places that, yes, to me don't look aesthetically pleasing, and you don't feel comfortable in your clothes, moving your trousers away from your belly, or that bra fat that's just so uncomfortable, especially if it's digging into your back. But then you think, actually, my body is friggin' incredible. My body is talking to me. It's storing the fat in places that means my heart can function. We know you can't function without a heartbeat. You can't function without oxygen. So the fact that the body is storing this fat in places that are not your heart and your lungs, is incredible. And this goes back to me thinking about my mum with rheumatoid, and I was thinking, you know, there were stresses in her life, significant family events, not to mention the childhood trauma, that really cascaded into what was then diagnosed as rheumatoid. And now it's this constant battle where she thinks, my body's letting me down. Why is my body doing this? And it's the hardest thing to see because I love my mum so much. I love her with every inch of my body. And there's nothing more than I want to see her wake up every day and thrive and have the energy. And then I think to myself, but who am I to tell her that? Because I'm not in her body. I haven't been in those experiences, that trauma. So all I can do is support, love. And if she wants the advice or she wants the help, I'm always there for her. And it's the same with all of us. So we are living within this body 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, minutes, seconds, this is your best friend, your body. This is the person, the thing, whatever you want to call it, the cells, the energy that's with you all the time. So getting to truly know that, getting to truly know who you are, is surely the root to anything you want in life, to success, to that dream body, to removing that pain and that pathology. Getting to know your body. And this is exactly the foundations behind True Self-Mastery and why I created it, is because no matter what goal you have in life, it's in alignment with who you want to be or who you truly are. And that is being your true self. Now, being your true self means mastering your body, means mastering your thoughts, means mastering your eating habits, because that brings you closer to who you really are. This actually transitions back to Nika in her 20s, where I was suffering with monthly debilitating PCOS symptoms. Having been diagnosed with 3 out of the 4 types, I had severe inflammation. My body felt fat and inflamed. And fat's the wrong word because it's a very negative association with, what is the optimal body percentage. I genuinely felt inflamed. I woke up with no energy. I had fatigue. I was constantly snacking because I was insulin resistant. I was constantly going and thinking I need food to keep my brain functioning, and I was, because I basically had a starving brain and a fat body. And this is becoming more and more common nowadays. Not only that, plus the adrenal fatigue, my cortisol was through the roof because I was constantly stressed about this. Now that was me in my 20s, in my mid-20s, going into my early 30s, and I had enough. I started thinking, what if the pill wasn't the solution for this? What if the 6-week injection that my mum has to have every week is not the solution? Because what's interesting, and interesting is the wrong word, but if you look into what the body is saying, my mum will say to me that, sometimes she has allergic reactions to the drug that they are giving her. And I'm thinking, wow, that is the body talking. The body is saying, I don't want that. I need to expel some of this, whatever you're putting into me, out. And that's the thing. It's always giving us clues and hints to help us, to guide us. I started with small changes in my diet. Now, PCOS, there's so much information out there, which is amazing, but it's actually taking that information and putting it into action is where you're really going to benefit from the results and where you're going to feel so much better. So my initial start was, right, small diet changes. See how you feel. Check in with yourself. And this process, like a snowball, grew and grew and grew to this massive boulder avalanche of now, like, my life has totally changed. And I feel like I'm still at the edge. I feel like more is to come, which is so exciting. I'm now 14 months of pain-free periods. And not only that, I'm now helping women who are also suffering with very similar symptoms to myself, helping them thrive through no dieting, through no restriction. And I'm so grateful for the lessons I learned in my 20s, despite the pain and the experiences of going through that. They've made me who I am today, and it means I can give the tools, the clear tools, to these lovely ladies that I'm working with. If you want to know information, comment below or send me a message, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Why is it important to actually take action? Take action and check in with yourself has many benefits, But for me, the most important thing, and if there's one thing you take from this lesson today, from this video, is curiosity. When you start to take small steps forward and take action, you start to reignite this innate curiosity that we all have. Think about it. Think about a child. I don't have any children yet. When I see children, they have this ample amount of energy. They are curious. They ask questions. They fail, they fall, they laugh, they cry. They're in the moment. Something happens to us. Now, whether it's at our childhood, or whether we've had a lovely childhood and we get into school days and we are then conditioned. We are then told no. We're then told to follow a system. What happens is you end up losing that innate curiosity of asking questions. When we ask questions, you start to rewire your brain to look for a different solution. And this brings up so much more, not only fun, but it brings about answers that you didn't think were possible. You must have heard that saying, you don't know what you don't know. And this was me. I was the lady, I was the girl who was like, I'm already eating healthy, I go to the gym, I work out, there's nothing more you can tell me. How wrong was I? I was totally held back by my stubborn thinking I knew it all belief. I was also stuck in that fear of, I don't know who can help me. I don't believe the internet. I don't believe anything. So I'm going to stick to what I think I know, which was wrong. Now that holds you back. I am constantly talking to ladies on Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn, and they'll say to me, I know already, like, I know all this and I'm fine. And I'm like, okay, well, what's going on? Well, I'm struggling with fat loss. My hormones are out of balance. I can't sleep. I have energy fatigue. My mood's all over the place. And I'm thinking, well, what's stopping you getting on a free call with me? What's stopping us having a conversation? Well, I feel embarrassed about it. I feel ashamed. I just feel like I should know this. And my heart goes out to you. And if this is you, take some time and ask yourself, are you going to let that fear hold you back from potentially knowing and getting a little bit closer to your true self? Because no one else is holding you back but yourself. If you have that belief, you are the only one holding yourself back. No one in life is coming to save us. The only person who can save you is you. And it starts by asking questions. The powerful insight from today is your thoughts. And I'm sure you've heard this before. Your thoughts become your reality. Actually, take it one step further. Your behavior on your thoughts becomes your reality. So there was this amazing Japanese businessman, and I've written his name down because, it's Musaru Emoto. And this guy showed through experiments and through looking into magnifying into a microscope the power of energy, the power of water, the power of your words on water, the power of your words on even a plant. And it was amazing to see, if you've not looked into his research and what he's done and his books, that he had an experiment of these two plants and controlled the environment so the variables were kept the same. And one plant was told, you're beautiful, it's sunny, it's all these wonderful, powerful words of just inspiration and love. And the other plant that was grown exactly the same way, the exact same like breed and soil, was told, you're ugly, you're going to, just awful words. And guess what happened? Through no watering, through nothing else, the plant that was given the words, the intention of love, grew and blossomed, and the other one died. Now, just think about that from your body. If your body is always talking to you, and it's something I truly believe, if your body is screaming at you to the point where it's having allergic reactions, or in my perspective, debilitating pain every single month, clotting, heavy, thick blood, what is my body telling me? Now, when I then take it one step further and tell my body you're weak, or you're pathetic, or why are you doing this to me? What's happening to your body? What's happening to the things around you? And that's the power of thoughts. And it's something that I help my clients with that work with me in True Self-Mastery. It's, yes, nutrition is key, movement is key, but we call it the brain gym. And the brain gym not only involves the cortisol, understanding stress management, but also understanding your thoughts, your actions, your words. These are so powerful and really help you thrive in life. Now, if you're sat there going, I am so overwhelmed and I'm confused, reach out. I'm offering a hand, I'm offering a call. Let's connect. So how have I gone from debilitating pain to thriving and bouncing, waking up every day with energy? I'm going to share 5 non-negotiables with you today. So number 1 is my morning routine, my evening routine, prioritizing and looking at nutrition as fuel, movement, and the final thing, brain gym. So I'm going to go with just a little bit of a description into each of these. The first one is my morning routine. When I actually took responsibility for what I do on a morning basis, so what time I get up, what I do first thing in terms of what I drink, not a coffee, but actually lemon water, what I read instead of my phone, a book, this significantly changed my life. Significantly. It reset me for the day. It gave me the energy to make sure that I start the day well. Second non-negotiable is a evening routine. Now this is something I'm working on more and more because with it being darker here and us having less daylight, I find I have more natural energy in the morning because my cortisol has risen, my melatonin is down, but also the sunlight. Now when it gets dark about 3-4 o'clock and we have hours of darkness and artificial light, what happens is my melatonin starts to come up. Also, I can get distracted by stimulants like my phone, my iPad, whatever it is. So I've created a non-negotiable evening routine where I set an alarm that I have to be in bed. I do this half an hour, so I'm preparing myself. No technology, you know all this, but to actually set something in place so that I don't go on my phone or binge watch a series is really fundamental. The other thing that I'm implementing is a 5-minute stretch routine before bed. Again, non-negotiable, set on my phone. The third thing I mentioned as my non-negotiables was nutrition, and this is really what sparked this like fire within me, is giving you the truth about seed oils, giving you the truth about cholesterol, understanding that eating healthy is a bunch of nonsense when you're eating seed oils. And the fourth thing is movement. So every day I do some form of movement. That doesn't mean going to the gym every day. That means walking, that can mean yoga, that can mean having a dance, that can mean weight training, whatever it is, I prioritize movement in my body. If I'm sat at the desk all day, I move my body. I get up, I set an alarm every hour, I walk away, I come back. The fifth thing is brain gym. That is fundamental, especially if you're someone who's time poor, you're struggling with knowing what's coming in the day. That tells me that you have no control over your day, okay? That tells me that you're struggling with stress. If you don't sleep well, if you're snacking, binge eating, binge watching, if you're feeling numb, all signs of adrenal fatigue, all signs your cortisol is too high and your stress is too high. That over time can resort to your body storing fat, okay? So if you're going to the gym, working out in a calorie deficit and your stress is too high and you're storing fat, there is a reason. There is always a reason. If you want to know more information, especially when it comes to my deeper kind of like nerdy side of researching seed oils, comment below. I'm happy to share. I'm happy to do a video for you. And thanks again for listening. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button.